Dharma Treasure 2033 Miracle 233 December 6, 2025.
Today, November 29th, 2024, the Law of Causality. Love all to become Buddha. The class of becoming a saint, right thinking, right speech, Part 71, continues to present to life Teaching 2033, Question 2033, Miracle 233, How to Build a Communist Society, The Virtue of the Saints, Part 35. Question 2033. And today, we honor the wish of our respected teachers who are renowned worldwide along with the Buddhas who are creating communist society environments, holy ethics, the law of causality. Loving all to become Buddhas, try our best to join hands to helping the humanity, which also means saving our mothers and fathers from our distant past. To understand better the question 233. Why is it that throughout history, there has been no scriptures, no environment guiding the class of right livelihood? And which profession sows the most genuine, sacred, and blessed to save generations to come? All the saints in the world, all the teachers who have a connection to know about the true Dharma, and all the scriptures that accurately represent the true Dharma, confirm that, to attain enlightenment, one must go through the Noble Eightfold Path. The content of the Noble Eightfold Path is fully present in the 2000 Foundations of Holy Ethics, meaning that to achieve enlightenment, one will awaken and correctly answer at least 2000 questions, which translates to living happily together with at least 2000 foundations of holy ethics. Except in special contexts, where a master of enlightenment with a connection may guide the practice of one in 8 classes or only impart one of the most noble practices, one of the most sacred foundations of ethics, according to its characteristics, such as the Ethics Foundation, the practice of 16 words of happiness or 49 words of self-enlightenment Buddha. And here's the summary. 2000 teachings, 2000 questions about the right view class. 70 teachings with hundreds of truths about the right thought, right speech class. And among the more than 2000 teachings, there are many teachings about right thought, right speech. When the conditions are right, the law of cause and effect will compile everything thoroughly, clearer. And the law of causality loves all to become Buddha compiled like this temporarily according to the conditions of human life, always considering the right view class as the first class, the most important class, if stated otherwise. So many teachers will waste their time debating theories, which will harm parents by expressing a deadly ego. It won't help anything. When the merit of human life is abundant, the law of causality will demonstrate more clearly why the right thought class is the first class, the most important class that determines the attainment of enlightenment. If that's not the case, then the teaching of the Buddha that the mind creates everything is wrong, which means that the teaching the mind precedes all knowables is wrong, and the universal truth that everything created by intention is wrong, everything created by thought is wrong, and everything created by right thought is wrong. Even the most important theory from all the scriptures in the world, the Noble Eightfold Path, if it's wrong, then what else could be incorrect? Is that not the truth? The theory of the 12 links of dependent origination is incredibly important. If we say something different from the scriptures, it will do a lot of harm to the teachers, mothers, fathers, and will show the ego of death. Eventually, blessings of humanity will be abundant, and the law of causality will demonstrate clearly why there are 12 entrances to the path. As the scriptures state, ignorance leads to actions, and actions lead to consciousness. Why is it wrong to write like that, so that actions should lead to karmas? The law of causality written here aims to clarify, to save countless generations, to stop believing in scriptures that have harmed for many lifetimes, and to avoid choosing the wrong teacher, because the saints who have attained enlightenment are destined never waste their time debating vague theories, meaningless things. If there is enough cause for debate, it should only focus on one thing, that is to prove the daily practices of our faith are the most sacred in this human life, to help people practice right away, to demonstrate the Buddha's mind, the sacred mind right away, to transform karma right away, to attain liberation right away, as the law of causality has clearly shown in the 8 practices and over 1,000 foundations of sacred ethics. And below are the words from the enlightened teachers, those have a connections, in the environment of the law of causality that loves all to become Buddhas, just sent to dear teachers who have connections and to us. Why, from ancient times until now, has there been no scripture, no environment to guide the right livelihood class? Right livelihood has many meanings. Today, you all will awaken and practice the 6 sacred truths, sacred thoughts, sacred speech, sacred livelihood as follows. 1. Right livelihood is the most genuine and virtuous way of living. 2. Right livelihood is about how to live, how to practice to cultivate the most genuine and virtuous karma. 3. Right livelihood is not to create karma, not to engage in professions that indulge in sensual happiness of the heavens. 4. Right livelihood is not to create karma, not to practice the easy-going methods that lead to sensual happiness of the heavens, nor to practice harsh methods that lead to suffering in pursuit of sensual happiness. 5. Right livelihood is the most genuine profession, the most virtuous, the most blessed. Saving countless generations is like the life of a beggar following the example of the Buddha's virtue. And most importantly, the most virtuous, when going for alms, when receiving offerings from donors, you must wholeheartedly respectfully present scriptures or help humanity become enlightened the holy ethics. Only then can one's practice of alms be called right livelihood. Conversely, if one goes for alms without achieving the mentioned right livelihood, it's easy to fall into the wrong livelihood, to genuinely become a beggar, and dangerously harm countless generations. For example, when going for alms, receiving offerings from kind donors without helping them achieve enlightenment in the ethics that escape suffering, and instead leading them to live by principles that bring more suffering. Making humanity misunderstand the phenomenon or leading humanity to practice extreme asceticism, harming countless generations, suffering, even more suffering, truly a sin for all eternity. 6. Right livelihood encompasses every gesture, action, walking, standing, lying down, sitting, thinking, speaking, working, eating, abiding, all following the dignity of the Blessed One, all undertaken with virtuous intention, subtle intention or focused thought, to avoid creating lowly karma, such as the 10 right livelihoods that follow. 6.1 When I walk, I know I'm walking in peace and joy, not creating karma that tramples on my companion, the Great Being. When I walk, I know I'm walking with the right posture, I'm walking in right action, not creating harmful karma for the great beings. 6.2 When I stand, I know I'm standing in peace and joy. And I know I'm standing with the right posture, I'm standing in right action, not creating karma that tramples on my companion, the great being, or tramples on the grass companion. 6.3 When I sit, I know I'm sitting in peace and joy. And I know I'm sitting with the right posture, I'm sitting in right action, not creating karma by sitting on my companion, the great being, or sitting on the grass companion. 6.4 When I lie down, I know I'm lying down in peace and joy. And I know I'm lying down with the right posture. I'm lying down in right action, not creating karma by lying on my companion, the Great Being. 6.5 When I think, I know I'm thinking in peace and joy. And I know I'm thinking in the right action, wholeheartedly thinking about how to live most virtuously. If I'm not thinking of how to live virtuously, then I know very well that I'm being deeply disturbed by the spirit of illusion. I'm thinking, I'm living in wrongful action, even if the thoughts bring happiness to others. But that happiness is sought for fame, for sensual pleasure, for ascetic suffering. Then it's still wrongful action. 6.6 And when I talk, I know I'm speaking in peace and joy. And I know I'm speaking in right action. I'm saying following the sacred moral principles. If I speak contrary to the sacred moral principles, I know I'm speaking in wrongful action. 6.7 And when I work, or labor or engage in activities, I know I'm practicing in peace and joy. And I know I'm practicing in right action. For example, before I begin the practice of the blooming kitchen, or before I tidy up the garden, I will set my intention similarly as I earnestly wish that all living beings in food, or near the kitchen, etc., will move elsewhere so that I can practice the blossoming kitchen tomorrow without causing harm to them. And if I unintentionally harm them, I sincerely wish for them to be reborn as humans and be connected with the Holy Ethics Foundation. I pray to offer my support and offerings to them forever.
With such a pure heart as described above, Buddha, which Lord Causality wouldn't be moved, and which Great Being wouldn't feel touched, and how can there be any wrongdoing? And with such a pure heart, if they meet those great beings with a strong heart, they will never want to go elsewhere, but will be ready to choose death, and that is the most sacred death, to become human. Just a brief intention like that, but it carries immeasurable holiness, demonstrating boundless compassion, proving the presence of complete holy view, holy thought, holy speech, holy action. Just one short heartfelt thought like that is enough to prove it, as a miracle that no scripture or environment has guided students to practice up till now. If one has not realized boundless compassion, they will not see the clear cause and effect ahead, so they won't be strong, nor truly heartfelt in their vows to support and offer to all living beings throughout their life. Thus they cannot cultivate boundless compassion, cannot transform karma, cannot repay all the countless sins committed, and must endure suffering forever. On the other hand, if one has realized vast compassion, one will see the clear cause and effect ahead, leading to genuine happiness and heartfelt vows to support and offer perpetually to all living beings. You must always remember, when your hearts genuinely vow to be sacred, like the above, that is proof, having realized the 16 characteristics of perfection, no matter how difficult the tasks or practices you engage in, you will always find joy and happiness. In other words, when your hearts genuinely vow to live the holiest life, all debts will be transformed by countless brothers, and so many humanity respects will assist you so that you can always be happy and fulfill your life's mission. In other words, when your hearts genuinely decide to live the holiest life, without transforming all debts, you won't find everlasting happiness, then cause and effect isn't real, and Buddhism wouldn't have emerged. 6.8 And when you practice, you know, you are practicing tranquility and joy. And you know, you are practicing in right livelihood, you are practicing following the sacred moral principles, you are dedicating all your time to do the most magnificent things. If you practice wrongly against the sacred moral principles, you know you are practicing in wrongful livelihood.
6.9 And when receiving food, you know, you are receiving it in right livelihood. not receiving it in amusement. And when you receive food with the right livelihood, with boundless compassion, you won't express your feelings like, "This dish tastes great." But instead, you will express your feelings like, "Oh my friend the cucumber, the eggplant, countless." And even holier, when you receive food in the right livelihood, with boundless compassion, you will express your intention, or direct your mind, to receive it with the sacred heart of the 16 golden characters, always knowing gratefulness, owing kindness, having faults, compassionate, respectful beyond the limit, repaying boundless kindness, with all the great beings you have sown karma with and have offered their life to you. And most importantly, the most sacred, before and after taking refuge, I always practice the filial piety dharma, combining the offering white rice to the 4 treasures and expressing gratitude to the donors, thanking the great beings. And thanks to the sacred intentions while practicing the dharma, it helps me take refuge in the right livelihood, not to create karma while embracing the lives of the great beings. 6.10 And when I settle down, I know, I am settled in calmness, joy. And to settle for the right livelihood, you all strive for enlightenment. Is it true that the scriptures misunderstood the noble eightfold path, the 12 gates to enlightenment, and the 3 poisons? If they are explained correctly, why is it that from ancient times until now, countless masters who practiced just like the scriptures did not achieve enlightenment? You all try to remember, why is it that if the scriptures assert that the 3 poisons are greed, hatred, and delusion, is it wrong, not clear, because the term delusion has many meanings, making human life easy to understand vaguely, and if delusion is understood in the sense of ignorance, that's a general understanding, then delusion, ignorance, is the root cause of all suffering in the world. It includes all the 3 poisons, for poisons, then it cannot be equated with the 3 poisons, greed, hatred, delusion. And if delusion is understood narrowly, as obsession, conflating, being drowsy, then that is not the most crucial cause, it's not the direct cause of human suffering to the utmost. Therefore, the most dangerous 3 poisons in the world, causing humanity to suffer right now and for eternity, are arrogance, greed, hatred, entirely understandable, not vague at all.
And the most important thing is to break the delusion, break the sleep. Not allowing sleep, or sleeping too little, is wrongdoing based on cause and effect, a misunderstanding of the Constitution. That's why for over 40 years, there hasn't been a disciple of the Elder Master who achieved enlightenment, and the more one breaks the delusion, breaks the sleep, the more it explains why some disciples have departed without a return date. But you all try to remember forever, breaking ignorance, breaking sleep is good, but it has to be done like a guitar string, not too loose, not too tight, meaning if it's too tight, the string will snap, and if it's too loose, it's the same, you only get a little sleepy, can't endure anything, and have rushed into sleep right away. With such a mind, it's a waste of human life. For eternity, you can never repay all the sins you've committed. And you all try to remember forever, if you're only present a little, and at the very least, every month, without any evidence of progress, it means you're practicing incorrectly, then breaking ignorance will only lead to more ignorance. As of now and in the past, you all have been very present, but you have shown evidence of progress every month, and becoming increasingly happy and fulfilled is on the right path, in line with your nature. And you all try to remember forever, you shouldn't be satisfied with your current results but should strive wholeheartedly to be ever more virtuous so that you can finally repay all the sins you've committed, to achieve everlasting happiness. Therefore, to realize the right action in presence, before you settle in, You should set an intention similar to one of the following 4 right actions. 1. Overeating, oversleeping. Attached and reborn. Becoming a big pig. 2. Getting bored of eating, sleeping. That is the effort of a saint. Everlasting happiness. 3. I always earnestly wish for the 4 sacred treasures, Buddha, to assist me to be present appropriately according to my nature, just enough presence so I have enough health to practice. 4. And I always sincerely wish for the 4 sacred treasures, Buddha, to support me, to sleep less each day, and not need to sleep, just need to be present enough to maintain my health so I can dedicate all my time wholeheartedly to help humanity in overflowing happiness, not to waste a single moment. When the right conditions are met, the law of causality loves the whole universe, everlasting happiness will become clearer. The scriptures preach incorrectly about the Noble Eightfold Path, misguide the 12 gateways to the path, and misinterpret the 3 poisons. Is that the truth?
The boat of cause and effect is born. The law of cause and effect is born. With the holy verse of 7 lines. 49 bows to the saints. 49 words of humility. 49 words to become. The solitary saint. The enlightened ones know it all. If living doesn't work out, we'll return to the cold land. If you live well, you'll resonate with the Holy Land. The path of karma is now crystal clear. No need to worry anymore about anything at all. The boat of karmic people is born. The law of cause and effect is born. With the holy verse of 7 lines. 49 bows to the saints. 49 words of uniqueness. 16 words to end suffering. 16 words of happiness. Has revealed everything. Has spoken it all. Will be immortal forever. Will save countless generations to come. Happiness forever after.